So, are you tired of those big digital transformation projects that promise the moon, but let's be honest, end up delivering a whole lot of frustration? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into how you can avoid becoming just another statistic and actually find the right framework to guide your company's digital journey. Let's just kick things off with one single number: 70%. It's a figure that should really make any business leader stop and think, because it pretty much defines the biggest problem in this entire space. Yep, that's the failure rate. We're talking about 70% of projects not hitting their goals. And, this isn't just a minor challenge. For a lot of companies, especially those in the mid-size range, it's a full-blown crisis of investment, of effort, and frankly, of morale. So you have to ask, right? Why is that number so incredibly high? What are the common traps that cause so many of these ambitious projects to fail so spectacularly? Well, a huge reason is trying to build something without a blueprint. You see it all the time. Companies get excited, they buy the shiniest new tools, but without a real plan, they just end up with a messy collection of projects instead of a functional business. And that leads straight to cultural resistance and, you guessed it, zero measurable value. And that's exactly where the solution comes in: a guiding framework. You should think of it like a digital GPS for your organization. It gives you a clear path to your destination and, just as importantly, helps you steer clear of all those common roadblocks and dead ends. So, what is a framework exactly? Well, it's not a magic bullet, but it's kind of like a recipe for success. It gives you the ingredients, a set of clear instructions, and a picture of what you're trying to create. It doesn't guarantee a perfect result, of course, but it seriously increases your chances of getting there. All right, so today, let's meet 6 of these navigators. Each one has its own unique map and its own philosophy for tackling the digital transformation journey. First up, we've got Gartner, who I like to call the value architect. Their entire approach is about one thing: follow the money. It forces you to connect every single digital project to a real, tangible business outcome. This way, you're not just playing with expensive new toys. And check this out, Gartner's research uncovered something pretty staggering. 58% of companies are basically flying blind. They have no idea how to measure the value of their digital investments. And that, right there, is a recipe for disaster. So, Gartner's model? It's perfect for companies that really need to get a handle on their ROI. But a little heads up, this isn't for beginners. It kind of assumes you already have a well-oiled IT machine and specialists who can make it all work. Next up, McKinsey's 7S model. This one is all about alignment. It's a holistic framework that's really designed to get all the different pieces of your organization, we're talking everything from strategy to staff to culture, all rowing in the same direction. The best way to think about this one is like a doctor's diagnosis. It is brilliant at telling you what's wrong, at identifying those deep-seated cultural and structural problems. But it doesn't give you the prescription. You'll need to pair it with other models to get a full action plan. Our third guide is Boston Consulting Group, the Impact Accelerator. Their whole approach is kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill. You start with small, quick wins to build momentum, and then you use that energy to tackle bigger and bigger goals until you've eventually reinvented your entire business model. Now, this is awesome for companies that need to show results and fast, but it is definitely not for the faint of heart. It demands the capacity to run multiple initiatives at the same time to deliver that quick succession of wins. If you don't have the resources to keep that pace, you'll burn out, period. Okay, moving on to Deloitte, the maturity mapper. Their model is like a super comprehensive health check for your entire organization. It assesses your readiness for change across a huge range of areas, from your data capabilities all the way to how flexible your IT infrastructure is. This is pretty much the gold standard if you want a complete, holistic plan. But you have to know going in, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The assessment process itself requires a huge investment of time and resources, so it's not really for companies looking for a quick fix. Now let's look at a framework from the academic world, from MIT and Capgemini. This one's all about the yin and yang of transformation. It recognizes that to really succeed, you need both the what, the hard skills of technology, and the how, the soft skills of leadership. This model is fantastic for getting your leadership team on the same page and for building a culture that's actually ready for change. But it's more of a high-level philosophical guide than a step-by-step roadmap. You're going to need other tools to turn its big ideas into concrete actions. And finally, we have Cognizant, the legacy modernizer. This framework is really for those companies that feel stuck in the past, held back by this tangled mess of old, creaky systems that just can't handle modern demands. So, look, if you're a newer company with a modern, cloud-based setup, this is probably overkill, like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. But if you're a more traditional business that's drowning in technical debt, this framework could be the absolute key to unlocking your future. Okay, we've just walked through 6 very different navigators, each with its own philosophy. So the big question now is, how in the world do you choose the one that's right for your organization?
Well, think of this table as your cheat sheet. It's a really quick and easy way to compare all the options side by side and see which one really aligns with your company's specific problems and goals.
Ready to find that perfect fit? It's really just a 3-step process. First, you have to diagnose. What is your single biggest blocker right now? Is it culture, ROI, old tech? Second, you have to assess. Be really honest about your internal capabilities. And finally, you match the framework, whose philosophy best fits your unique problem. But here's maybe the most important thing to remember from all of this. A framework isn't a magic wand. It's a compass. It points you in the right direction, it helps you navigate, but at the end of the day, it's still up to you to do the hard work of walking the path. And so that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Is the future of transformation really about the technology? Or is it about the people? Is it about building the perfect tech stack? Or is it about building a culture of human adaptability that can thrive no matter what changes come next?